Cinco, everybody is recording.
All right, we are here with Gabe Rodriguez.
Yes, sir.
For Vida Tattoos, and we're gonna do a small interview. I wanted to ask you, where are you? Where you from? Where you coming from? Where you're headed? A little bit about yourself and your business.
Well, my name's Gabe Rodriguez. I've been in Laredo since 1994, maybe 95. I moved here from Corpus Christi. I'm from the Corpus area.
Okay.
I was born in Alice, raised in Orange Grove and in Robstown and Corpus Christi. So all over the place, man. But yeah, man, moved over here in the mid 90s to stay with my dad. That lasted a whole month before I got kicked out. And I wasn't a bad kid, man. I was just really rowdy, man. I never wanted to stay home, and I was always busy, and that was pretty much it, man. But started tattooing. Started learning how to tattoo over 22 years ago. I started learning with this guy Eric Gonzalez from Mexico City, and he was a very amazingly proficient tattooer from Mexico, man. Super hippie. Real cool dude, kind of weird guy. You know, he'd listen to, techno at 6 in the morning. You know, like dropping acid and he was a wild ass guy, and he pretty much taught me everything I knew about tattooing up to that point. And then I all over the place, man. You know, I've been, I've worked at different shops and different people here in town. I've done a lot of tattooing out of town, but always kept Laredo as my home base, man. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
That's good. Yeah, that's good to hear. And I've done several interviews and stuff like that. A lot of people gravitate to Laredo. What people don't see is that there's a lot of diversity in Laredo, and a lot of people complain that there's nothing to do, that there's a bunch of negative stuff. But in reality, I've heard this saying before: is there's something in the water that you end up staying here in Laredo? You know what I mean? But it's a pretty well-rounded town. It's still growing. It's in the early stages, but
you know, I used to think the same thing, and I realized that it's not, man. We're not a super diverse city. We really aren't. Laredoans live in a bubble, man, and we're surrounded by 90% people that look exactly like us. We have the same culture. And it's kind of cool because we're kind of like we're trapped in a bubble of time where we're still progressing and we're moving. It might be a little slower than everyone else, but we're still moving and going. But we keep our culture super intact here, and all of our customs and all of our, like, the way that we are as people, like the gentes, just their raza, dude, and it never changes. So when you get a lot of people coming in from the outside, and I think that's the thing that's kind of amazing, and now I say that in the last 5 years we have become more diverse because we have more ethnicities hanging out and opening business downtown, and just living here in general. When before the only people that weren't Mexican were like nurses and doctors.
yeah.
So it's kind of weird, man, but it works. And now in 2019, it's getting a little bit better, but we're still trapped in that little bubble, and it's really, I say it all the time, it's really magical, man. It's really, this city is so magical, and it is something in the water because you get to come to a place where everybody's awesome. Everybody's not everybody, but like 90% of the people here are amazing people, and they're very friendly and down to help, and they do what they do really well, from opening up restaurants to cafes to bars to nightclubs to magazines, like everything. We all have Laredo has like a certain, like we have ganas to do stuff, and it's different than anywhere else because, like, say Austin, everyone loves Austin. It's beautiful, it's nice. The best thing about Austin, or used to be the best thing about Austin, was all the mom and pop shops.
Yeah.
But most of those shops have been around since the 70s, 80s. Some have been around since before that. Their parents owned certain little places, bars and stuff that have been around for decades, man. And other people just kind of took over it, and that's what made Austin really cool. And I think that eventually we're gonna have the same thing happen here. We're gonna have a reckoning. Where it's gonna be like everyone's opening up a small business. Everyone has a little brand going on. We have DJs, we have rappers, we have rock bands, we have metal bands, we have bars, we have chill out spots. We have everything. We have really cool little game spots here. There's people that do like Magic the Gathering tournaments and Super Smash Brothers tournaments. No one's ever heard of this place,
And actually, you know what? I just found out I work at LNF Budweiser. Those guys are like in 90% of the freaking events, and they sponsor those little events that you're like, I was like, I didn't even know, man. So I was
they won't sponsor me though.
Well, I mean, but they have a lot of events that I didn't even know were going on,
really
and that's why when I started the magazine, that was the whole point. I wanted to kind of like showcase everything that's going on because there's a lot going on. There's just little pockets here and there that people don't know about, and a lot of the times we're too busy to even kind of look at it. So I wanted to that's what I wanted to do with the magazine. Okay, so do you remember your first tattoo on you or as an artist that you made?
Yeah, man.
Was it the experience that pushed you in this career path? Or the earliest memory that you had,
The earliest memory I have of seeing tattoos was on my grandfather. I mean, I must have been 7 or 8 years old, and that dude had an outline of Texas on his forearm that said Texas in it. It was so dumb. And, I asked him where he got it, and he's like, oh, me and your Theo Johnny were hanging out. We got India ink and toothpicks. The hell, man, toothpicks. And that was the first tattoo I remember seeing. I always thought they were awesome, man. I just thought it was a really cool thing. First tattoo I did myself, man, I was probably 12, 13 years old. Me and my friend Jason Poole, who's a tattooer who's actually going to be here this weekend, he and I made a machine out of, the Walkman motor, and we made one of those jailhouse machines. And I tattooed him. I think I did a Punisher skull on him, and then I tattooed a little heart on my calf, and that was my first real tattoo. We did it ourselves. It was really terrible. And I mean, me and that guy, we met in 4th grade and we had just been friends ever since. And we both like to draw, and we both like to do stuff like that. And then fast forward 20 years and we're both tattooers.
That is so
super
cool.
Weird, man.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So in retrospect, you probably, those early memories is what kind of pushed you to be what you are right now.
I guess so, man. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it was just, I was always just so interested in drawing and painting. My dad was an artist. He he did everything. All the stuff that he did, I ended up doing, painting on canvas, and then ballpoint pens, real prison-style ballpoint pens on baños. Together for a while, we did, back in the days, in the 70s, used to engrave on the side of your, I think I have one.
Oh,
yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I have one. That one's yours. Yeah, back in the day, you used to be able to engrave roses or Virgin Marys on the side of windows of cars, lowrider cars, and that's what we did, and that's how I made money. So while all the people in high school were, selling drugs or hustling, that's what I did, man. I remember I engraved windows, and I did beadwork.
We used to. My mother actually, she bought a car when I was about 13, 14. It was an old boat type of car.
I love those things, man. Yeah.
And it had and I thought it was so weird that you mentioned that, because in that car used to be one of those old ones, steel
big old Chevelles or Chevy.
And it had engraved in gallo in the side, in the windows, and I was like, what? It was so I always wondered how they did that.
Yeah,
So,
man.
but till this day, I still remember that freaking car and the engraving on the freaking window. I always wondered.
Yeah, man. Yeah, engraver machine, really cool, man. Just an old ass engraver. It was the worst thing to do because you'd get glass shards, so you'd have to wear glasses and a bandana, and it'd be glass pouring out in your face. If you breathed it in, you'd be coughing for a week. It was really bad, but that's what we did, man.
Do you have a favorite tattoo?
That I did, or did someone else do?
Either or.
Oh man, favorite tattoos. There's a book, and it's called Tattooing the Invisible Man by Ed Hardy.
Okay.
And it's a really old book, man, and it was a showcase of basically Ed Hardy's life. And this is before the t-shirts and the whole, just the weird push of douchebag stuff they put out, the socks and the glasses and stuff. And
it became a trend.
It was really weird, man. There was a whole lawsuit behind it. Google it, man, it's terrible. But there's a huge chest to stomach piece, man, that he did. And man, I don't want to say who it was because I don't remember, man. It might have been Dan Higgs. Man, well, it was a huge goat on this dude's stomach, and it's amazing. Like it's a huge, amazing piece. And I remember when I first saw it, like it mind blowing, man, mind blowing. And I was just like crazy. And the thing that made me laugh about that tattoo, it wasn't just a tattoo that made me think like that's amazing. It was the fact that, and I guess I didn't really get it back then, but I get it now. Where he would say he would tattoo from top to bottom, and he'd only finish it halfway, so that he'd make the people have to come back. You know, so you'd have half a tattoo, and if you see the tattoo, there's pictures of it where it's half done, and it's literally from the guy's chest to his stomach, half of a tattoo, totally done, and then from his stomach down, there's nothing, and it's just like what, man, and it's crazy. I think it was a chest, or was it a? Pretty sure it was a chest piece, man. Man, I can't find that picture, but that was like the one that just drove me like insane when I was a kid, and then I saw all of Chris Trevino stuff. He is a tattoo artist in Austin, Texas. Man, he's originally from San Antonio. He owns Perfection Tattoo, and that guy's stuff in the '90s was mind blowing, man. I mean, it was like ugly. You're talking like crossbones with like green goop coming out of it, and the bones had hair and super '90s, man. Real weird looking stuff. And the colors were super neon, and you were just like amazed. He would do chrome skulls, and they looked awesome. And it was super '90s, man. And then the guy ended up being one of the most influential Japanese tattooers. Like he does beautiful Japanese tattoos, and it's like super detailed and super crazy stuff. But I remember seeing that guy's work also was just like the turning point for me. Is like this is something that I would think that I'd like to try doing something like this.
Is there a tattoo design you wish you'd have come up with yourself?
There's nothing new under the sun, bro. No, man, nothing. I have books of tattoo artwork that was from the turn of the century. I mean, you're talking 1912, and it's the same shit we tattoo now. Girl heads, vases with flowers, roses, sparrows, anything you could think of, it's already been done a million times.
We all just add on to wherever the...
Shit, man, there's some people that just straight up do the exact... I like doing that. If I find somebody asks me that they want to do a sparrow, man, I'll pull one out of the book, and I'll, it's say a Percy Waters bird, and it's 1910. Copy it straight from the book, man. Boom.
It's a tattoo. Awesome. The client likes it.
Yeah, man.
Okay, since tattooing is your life, do you follow the culture closely? And, we already answered that one. Whose artwork do you really enjoy?
Yeah. Artwork's a little different though, man, because there's people that do tattoos, which is really beautiful, and then there's people that do art, and it's like, dang, man, like, how do you say that guy's name? Jeff Gogue, Gogu, Gogue, G-O, man, G-O-G-U-E, I think that's how you spell his name. G-O-G-U-E, yeah, man. He does some of the most amazing tattoos, but he also does the most amazing paintings, man. Like, the guy paints like nobody's business, man.
Yeah.
And then, there's just a bunch of guys that just, I mean, they're amazing painters and artists that have nothing to do with tattooing. They paint to paint, and it's like mind-blowing, man. Like, mind-blowing how amazing they are.
Do you your tattoo style, what would you call it? Or do you lean into a certain style?
No, I think I just like doing, I think my personal style is just color tattoos, man. I mean, I'll do anything. I'll do black and gray, I'll do full color, I'll do traditional, I'll do watercolor. A lot of my traditional work is what I like doing the most, or it's more illustrative than it is traditional. Bold lines, lots of black, lots of color. But I also tattoo my black and gray the same. Bold lines, lots of black, lots of fades out, and they look almost exactly the same. But I think that after 20-something years, I'm more of a well-rounded tattooer that I don't have like a specific style,
Cool. No, that's cool, man. It's just because I've seen I like tattoos too. So, but a lot of the times the artists lean into that cartoony style.
Man, and that's funny because for me you're a one-trick pony, man. If you only do that one thing,
yeah,
and that's cool. But eventually that well's gonna run dry, man, and you're gonna either have to learn how to tattoo right, something else, or you're gonna dry up and die and look for another job. And I think that's where, I mean, everyone that I've ever worked for has kind of taught me that you have to really try to excel at multiple styles so that you can have money in the bank, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I think everybody walk outside.
Is there a certain tattoo? Well, I mean, I don't think you don't look like it, but is there like a style that you really don't like? You know, like there's different styles out there. There's kind of like I don't like this style or
No, dude, I don't think there's a style I don't like. There's styles of tattoos that I don't get, that I know I can't do, so it frustrates the crap out of me, man.
Mhm.
Like, I see these guys do, like, this super hyper realistic roses,
Oh.
and I'm just mad. I'm like, how does your brain even do that? Like, I don't get it. And there was a girl that does, she's out of Dallas, and she does the most amazing, like, really, really realistic roses. And she had posted on her Instagram story, this is what I do first, and she does like the base, and she basically the way you oil paint is the way that she tattoos.
Yeah.
And I'm like mind blown because I can't oil paint either. You know, so I'm just mad. I'm like, damn, man. So, but no, I don't think there's any one particular thing that I don't like doing.
Biggest influence right now?
Tattoo wise, I mean, tons of people, man, tons of people. You know, Chad Koplinger's an amazing tattooer that traveled the world for forever and then just got really tired of it and then just settled down. I think he's like in Nashville or something. And that was awesome because I always loved his artwork, but the fact that the way that he set up everything after, like he's like, you know, I'm done. You know, he does his appointments, he does all this stuff. It's really cool. Randy Randerson's awesome too. That guy's on Instagram, and he is just the biggest, funniest dumbass that I've ever known to read in my life. And all the stuff that he posts is just stupid, and it's all tattoo related, and it all makes me laugh because I'm thinking to myself like I try not to take myself too seriously. I really do, and I know sometimes it's just my face that it looks like I'm mad or upset, and I'm in my mind I'm just thinking of the dumbest shit ever. And I try not to take myself seriously. And then when I read this guy's stuff, I mean, he's a good tattooer, but the way that he, like the influence he has on the way that the culture and the craft of tattooing is, it's so awesome because like, you know, the guy has on Instagram alone, it's called Monday Malarkey. He has 71,000 followers, man, and it's just a bunch of like tattoo memes and tattoo jokes. And I mean, everybody, you don't have to be a tattooer to get it, you know, but it's like, what is it? It's Drake hugging some guy, and it's like when your client comes in, tips you really well, sits really still for a tattoo, and brings you fresh cookies, and it's like God's plan playing in the background, you know, and it's like, damn, dude, that's awesome. So I for me, I think that's a really good influence to not be so serious and not be so dumb.
Some of us have rituals. Do you have one before getting ready to tattoo? You know, maybe a song. What hypes you up?
I don't think so. I don't have any rituals. What's up? Mm-hmm.
Maybe at
Yeah, I'm not too. No, man, I'm not a very superstitious or not even superstitious. I'm just not a very ritualistic person, man. So, you know, I you know, whatever's playing on the radio, which is usually the same like 50 songs, which is really ridiculous. But
usually rock, though, right?
Everything, man. I mean, dude, I love classic rock. I love stoner doom metal. I love black metal. We'll listen to like old school hip hop. I love like, you know, MF Doom, man. We'll play it like all day. Or I mean, damn, dude. You know, we'll listen to like Windhand, which is like a really heavy doom band, and it's anything, man. But I can't think of one thing. I think the only thing crosses my mind every time I do a tattoo is like, oh, I get to pay a bill. You know, because I mean, everybody talks about how it's the art, and it's the art, man. It's the art, and I believe that, you know, yeah, I believe that it, you know, tattooing is an art and a craft that, you know, you have to. But after so many years, I don't have to worry so much about the art part of it. Not that I have it down, and not that I can't improve, but that I'm so comfortable doing it that it doesn't
Yeah,
stress me.
you branded yourself. You set yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody recognizes your work. They're
Yeah,
coming
man.
to you. So you basically you put the legwork out.
Yeah, I
years
already
ago.
did all the work, man. So now
Right now
I'm
you
trying to reap the benefits.
yeah.
Exactly. So
So and then it happens. One of the things with the magazine, I kind of wanted to see do promotion in the future or whatever. And you said something that yeah, it's art. Yeah, it's music. Like I'm into music. I write
Yeah,
songs,
sure.
stuff like that. So my thing is that a lot of the people here don't want to pay for
No.
somebody's time, and
No.
it's kind of like, man, if you don't know how hard it is to make songs, even if they're shitty,
yeah.
but it's hard to make a shitty song. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, man, it's true.
so one of the things that I kind of wanted to do in the future with the magazine is kind of promote artists and stuff like that and get paid. You know, because everybody deserves that.
Yeah,
Even if it's $10, like I've played in places, and I kind of made it to the point where like, hey man, I'm not gonna play. I do, right? But you know, a lot of the times I'll be like, well, pay me $10.
Yep.
I don't care, but pay me $10.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude.
You know, like
my last year of high school, I graduated in '96 from Martin, and my last year of high school, I was at advertising designs class. Was with the teacher was Mr. Herrera. Amazing, amazing man, and very, very clever. One of the things that he told me that stuck with me forever was he said, no matter what you do, whatever it is, art-wise or anything, always get paid for it, man. Even if it's $1, get paid.
Yeah.
That dollar is what counts because you're putting your time and your effort into this thing, and you put a lot of effort into studying and trying to make it right. For you to do it for free, nah, man. That's not how it works.
That's one of the things that I push for the magazine, like recognition for everybody. Doesn't matter the art and what you like.
Yeah.
It's beauty in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah,
So
sure, man.
I mean, I might think that song sucks, but somebody else might think it's the best song ever.
Definitely.
So whoever wrote that song or whoever came up with this art, they deserve to get paid.
Yeah.
And like I said, like it's come to the point where when I go out and play, I'll be like, man, just pay me whatever. I don't care, but just pay me a little bit. And $10.
It works.
Stuff like that. And some of the times now they kind of like, whenever they invite me, they're like, $50 and I didn't even ask for money.
Yeah.
What the hell? You know what I mean? Like
it's work, man. You have to work for it to make it happen, man. And that's absolutely true.
So, and that's one of the plans that I do have with the magazine, some kind of promo, and whoever I have promoting, like, might not be a lot of money, might be a lot of money, but you're gonna get paid each time you perform.
For sure, man. That's cool.
Let's talk about the event.
Yes, sir.
This is the second one, right?
The third.
Third, okay.
Yeah.
So I know what the purpose is, but in your own words, what pushed you to do this event? What was the main driving force behind it, or how did it come out to be?
Oh man, this is so dumb. The only reason I did the event was so that somebody else didn't do it and fuck it up.
Hey, that's a perfect way,
dude.
Man.
Honestly,
that's the
man, I was at an event in the Valley, and I'm talking to these friends of mine, and they're the guy throws the event every year. I think they're like 7 or 8 in, and he's like, "Why don't you ever throw a show in Laredo?" And I'm like, "Too much work, man. Not enough money. Like, I don't have time for that shit." And he tells me, he's like, "You know what, man? Like, what is Laredo? 250,000 people, whatever it is that we have here. That's a lot of people that like tattoos. If you don't do it, some other dumbass is gonna come and they're gonna do it and they're gonna burn you bad, and no one's ever gonna want to go down there." And I started thinking about that. I'm like, fuck. All right, man. So then I started kind of getting the ball rolling and, talking to my wife and kind of like doing the finances and seeing what we can do. And we finally said, let's do it, man. So I called around and I tried getting a couple of places, and everybody was kind of giving me the runaround. And then the one place that we did finally find was too small. And finally we found the Life Dance Pavilion, because I totally forgot it existed. And it was perfect. It was big enough for everybody that we needed, and the price was right. So we put the deposit down, and that was it, man. I mean, and that's literally the reason why we did it, because we didn't want anybody else to fuck it up.
It is a perfect reason.
Yeah.
No, that's a perfect reason. Look, usually, like, they kind of like with tattoos. They're like, "Why'd you get that tattoo?" I fucking like it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, it doesn't really have that meaning or whatever.
I think that the fact that Laredo's never had, that we were such a smaller big city, and we've never had an actual real tattoo event was just kind of weird, man. So I know a lot of people, man. I know a lot of tattooers from all over the place. I know a lot of vendors, and I work with as many people as I can to try to kind of like not only push my shit out there, but push other people's stuff out there so that people can see it. So I made some calls and I talked to some people, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I want to do this tattoo show." and everybody was very responsive to it, man. So that first year we did it, it was the most stressful. Like, man, I planned everything for like 6 or 7 months straight. Finally had the date, did everything. We opened the doors. We did really good. It wasn't a lot of people, but it was enough. So we did really good. And that at the end of the weekend, we're like, oh man, we almost broke even. We're a couple of grand short, but we did it and we were fine. The second year, it wasn't as hard, but we doubled the amount of people that showed up, and everything was a little bit easier to find, like the vendors and the beer and the food trucks and stuff. So I was like, badass. So now this third year, cake, bro. Like, I mean, couple of bumps in the road, but dude, so much not so easy, but so much more, I guess, easier to do because of the fact that we already had everybody set up.
Yeah.
Like the vendors were down, the food trucks had a blast last year. All the artists had like the best time last year that they signed up like the day after the show for the next one.
I like the way you're doing the show. I like that you invited community and giving a chance and food and music.
Oh, I make all these people pay though, like I'm not being altruistic about it,
but still, like, it's who you have in mind is the people.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, people
that's
come in
for
here
me,
and then you have like a what is it, like a lucha?
Oh yeah, man, we have luchas for the people.
So you have all that kind of people going in. So it's not, you didn't limit it to, it's an actually full blown event.
Yeah, it's an event, man.
So you go. Hey, you're checking tattoos, you're getting tattoos, you're different food trucks. Hey, man, I'm kind of bored of this. Let me go see people hit each other.
Yep.
So that is the right way to do it. That's an actual event.
Yeah, we try, man.
So I really like that. And like we talked about earlier, we've kind of been evolving as a city of cultural diversity.
Definitely.
That now you have to choose and pick from, hey, you know what, I like this and that. It's easier to put together.
Yeah, true, man. Very true.
So, last thing, do you have a favorite quote? Or something that you live by, kind of like
I do, man. That's really, really funny.
Just to close it off.
There's a tattooer, goes by the name of, his name is Mike Malone. He goes by the name of Rollo Banks. And above his station, he had a little cardboard sign. And I'm not quite sure. I think he said that Sailor Jerry would say it a lot because he was a protege of Sailor Jerry. And it says, if you can't blind them with brilliance, baffle them with bullshit. It is the most amazing quote in the world because it's like, man, like I think I try to live my whole life, especially with the tattooing and all the stuff that I do. I try to live by that, man. Like, I am really good at the things that I'm good at, and I'll try to make you come around to see that one way or another, man. You're gonna see that you're getting quality work, you're getting quality this, between the tattoos, we also do the t-shirt company, Consafos Print Co. We're very critical about the way our stuff looks when it goes out the door. So if that doesn't impress you, well, I can tell you a lot of like really funny stories and just kind of like make you comfortable with what you're getting,
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Okay, I said that was the last thing, the quote, but I'm actually interested in
static age, man. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I didn't even know about it. I actually looked into it. Very similar vision, man. So I don't know, like, what's.
Well, the static age thing came out last year, man. Where me and a couple of guys, I basically put out a Facebook ad saying, hey guys, if you're interested in writing for a magazine, let me know because I'm starting something up. I got a hold of maybe a good like 10 people, and they came to the meeting, and we all hung out and talked. And out of those 10 people, we ended up with, it was me, Roger, Hugo, Kevin, Nora. Am I missing anybody? That's it, man. It was just us five. And those are the people that stuck around, man. And we basically started up this little thing where it was like, the way that I explained it to them was, I wanted the magazine to be like a constant love letter to Laredo. That's exactly what it is. I want to be able to express to everybody else and show them how amazing our little city is and how amazing it can be. Laredo's not boring, and you are.
Yeah.
Like if you complain about how boring Laredo is because you're going to the same compadre's house every weekend, barbecuing, drinking the same boring ass beer, getting drunk till 4 a.m. and passing out, and then you're like, this place sucks, there's nothing to do. There's never any music events, there's never any this, there's never any that, and it's just like, because you're stuck in the same place that you've been for forever, man. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
So when we started the magazine, what I wanted to do was is kind of like change people's perspective on that. Like, I mean, there's drag shows. I don't know if they're still going on. I know they are, but
I went to one, and actually at the Boogaloo, the rooms, there
oh
was
yeah, man.
some weird thing going on, and I was like, man, this would have been a perfect
Yeah.
freaking article.
Man, Boogaloo has so many awesome events, man. Taboo has the drag shows every Wednesday. You know, we have a lot of mom and pop little hole in the wall restaurants that are amazing, and no one does any of this stuff. Everyone, for some reason, is so afraid to explore Laredo by themselves.
Yeah.
Like they need to be in an entourage of 10 to go and see, you know, who's there. Who the fuck cares who's there? You go, other people go. And that's just kind of the mentality that we have here in this city, man. So we're hoping to kind of like change that up.
Cool, man.
And that's what we did, man. We did two full issues. The first issue was really beautiful, full color, glossy pages, really nicely done. The design work, which I edited it and I designed it, and the design work was a little off because it was my first time. I learned how to do InDesign like a month before we did
Yeah,
it.
no,
You know?
it's a lot of work.
But once I got the hang of it, the second issue came out awesome. You could find it on Issue online, but we were gonna do another issue after that, and we're gonna try to do it every 2 months, and it just kind of fell through, man. Like I got really busy here with the shop. One of the guys had a kid. Another guy started a really awesome comedy, endeavor, I guess. So
Cool.
it's really cool, man. That he kind of, everybody kind of like went their own little ways, man. But I mean, we're still in contact with each other, and we're eventually trying to bring it back. But I think my thing is, I want it to be more like a small, like newspaper kind of like
Yeah.
thing rather than a full-on glossy thing. So I'm looking for printers again. Right now there's a lot of stories that have been in the back burner. A lot of stories that aren't good anymore because we can't use them. But we've got culture articles, we have music articles, we have right now Hugo he wrote a whole article about talking to people about the Azteca murals, man, and that's where it started because they're beautiful and they've been there for a long time. And apparently the señor who put it together for the Azteca murals was also a guy who marched with Cesar Chavez.
Wow,
And
dude.
not only was he marching with Cesar Chavez, but he was like one of his right hand men in Texas. So, and the guy lives here. I mean, that's like a wealth of information that no one ever bothered. No one even knew this guy was here or that what he did. He's basically one of those guys who it's like you have the most amazing piece of history in a little tiny place and no one's ever heard of it. So that he wrote a whole article on that guy and stuff like that, man. I mean, I think that Laredo has a really rich history and a really an awesome. We have a lot of awesome stuff, not only presently going on, but a lot of awesome stuff that's happened in the past and that no one's ever heard about, man. So that's pretty much what the whole magazine was about. So hopefully it makes a comeback, man. Hopefully we get our shit together. So we'll see. See.